Hey guys, Justin Bryant here from selfmadesuccess.com, and in this video I'm going to show you something that you can apply to not only teaching school but teaching courses, teaching lessons, teaching info product lessons, teaching in blog posts, teaching in tutorials, teaching in videos, and it's going to help your students to learn faster, comprehend what you're teaching them, get good at it, and then remember it. So number one is to use metaphors and similes when you're teaching something. Okay, so this just helps compare it to something that they might have more knowledge in. The whole point of them taking this course is they probably don't know a whole lot of what you're going to teach them yet. So compare different lessons or different parts of the lessons to something they might understand as a comparison using metaphors and similes. This can help them understand it better and have kind of an aha moment. Number two, use different content mediums. Okay, so they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Some people say a video is worth 1.8 million words. Now, they have podcasts that are extremely popular now. We have image sharing sites like Pinterest and Instagram that have really taken off. YouTube is taking off with videos. You don't have to just stick to plain old text. There's a lot of different ways to teach people things that can be more effective, okay? And visuals especially help. Audios help as well, but if you help them engage as many different senses as possible when they're learning something, they'll learn it much easier. Number three, help them connect emotionally. So if you don't help them make an emotional tie to what they're learning, they're not going to remember it down the line. So you want them to really understand it, but you want them to remember it and not just forget it. So for instance, you might remember a car crash you were in. You might have remembered a child being born in the family. Things like that stick with you. They create an emotional attachment because they're big events. They have big emotional highs and lows. But you might not remember something that's very routine, like what you had for breakfast 2 days ago, or the last time you did the laundry or something like that. Because you don't have an emotional connection to it, you're not going to remember it. So if you can help them make an emotional tie to the lesson, they'll be much more likely to remember it down the line. Number four, use quotes. Quotes are extremely popular. People love quotes, and actually a quote can teach people more than sometimes an entire book on the same subject. Especially if it's a famous quote by somebody like Gandhi or Martin Luther King Jr. or George Washington or a famous actor or something. People start paying attention right away when it's somebody they recognize, and then when it's so well said and it's put in a certain way that just makes so much sense to them, like many one-line or two-line quotes do, a lot of times they'll be more likely to remember it. So just for instance, this is a famous quote that you probably remember the first time you've heard it, is live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever. It makes so much sense, and it can apply to your life and a lot of others. So just use simple quotes from famous people and things like that throughout your lessons, and I guarantee they'll be more likely to remember it and understand it. Number five, tell stories. So everybody loves stories. Books are extremely popular. Movies, TV shows, can't get enough. So people love stories. They always want to see the end of the story. So they stay and they pay attention, especially if it's a good story. So if you can tie good stories into different things that kind of put things in perspective and help them understand how it applies, they'll be much more likely to learn and remember it. Number six, give exercises as they go. Give them experience as they go. Help them walk through something, help them actually try what they're trying to learn. So if you're trying to teach them how to speak Spanish or something, or you're trying to teach them how to build a website, give them a sentence that they can speak in Spanish after the first lesson, or give them a task like how to do their first blog post on their website after the first lesson. Do something simple, but give them experience so that they can do it themselves and try it, because it's so much more helpful when you're doing it yourself and you're getting your own feedback from doing it than it is from just watching someone else do it. Number 7, help them set goals. Without goals, you're not going to stick with what you want to learn, because many courses can take a long time. And Tony Robbins says setting goals is the first step to turning the invisible into the visible. So if you have a dream, if you have something that seems out of reach, setting goals with deadlines is the first step to really getting closer to achieving those goals, or achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve in the course, in the lesson, in the blog post that you're trying to learn from. So set goals. Say you want to do a lesson a day, or a lesson every other day, and do an exercise a day, or you want to be able to pass a test on the first try, or whatever it is. Just have goals for your learning, so and help them set goals so that they can really make progress periodically and not have to look so far down the line before actually achieving something. Number 8, help them know why they want to reach those goals. So you can give people goals, you can give them information, but if they don't know why they're listening or why they need those goals, then they won't care about it. And they have to know their why, because they won't be motivated otherwise. So, for instance, you don't make money because you just love money. You make money for what it gets you. It gets your family a better lifestyle. It gets you a car that you love driving. It gets you peace of mind, so you don't have to worry about your next paycheck. Things like that. If you don't, you don't learn something just for the heck of it. You learn for the benefit that it's going to get you. So help people understand the benefit of the course that they're doing, or whatever it is, so that they clearly have motivation and clearly can justify why they're doing it. Number 9, set rewards for their goals. Okay, so if you don't reward yourself after these little achievements, what's the point in the achievement at all? So you won't look forward to it. You need something to look forward to it, because it creates a positive mental state. It creates anticipation for achieving goals, and it helps them stick with the material they're trying to learn. So maybe you give them some kind of a little badge that says, I'm a expert in this area after they've completed certain lessons in that area. Or you give them, a cheat day after they've done so many days of a diet program. Whatever the reward may be, come up with something for them. Number 10, make them have to teach it. One of the best ways to teach people how to do something is to have them teach others, or teach you back to make sure that they understand it. Okay, so if they're just sitting there taking in information, you can't always tell how much they're taking in. You can't always tell how much they're engaged with it. So one of the best ways to have people understand something is to teach it to others. And it actually takes the selfishness out of learning, because people are naturally going to try to help somebody if they're required to, especially. So they don't want to do a bad job of whatever they're doing. They don't want to make themselves look bad, and they don't want to let others down. So researchers have actually found that students who have to teach or tutor others work harder to understand the material, recall it more accurately, and apply it more effectively. And this was actually a whole article about these studies in Time magazine, but it works when you have them teach others or make them teach you back to make sure that they understand what they're doing. Number 11, have them record their progress. So as they go, check off the lessons they've done or check off the tests they've done. Help them compare their test scores as they learn more to see that they're getting better. Just help them know that they're getting better at what they're trying to learn, and they will keep going. Because if they don't see progress, if they're getting worse, they're going to stop. They're going to not be motivated, and they're not going to keep going through it. Number 12, break up lessons into small chunks. This just makes it more manageable, makes it more convenient for them, because if you try to teach them too much at one time, or if the lesson is really long, they won't probably have time to do it at one sitting, and therefore if they try to do it in one sitting, they'll probably get distracted by other things and not recall the information very well, or they might just get intimidated by it. For instance, if you have a super long article and it doesn't have anything but just solid text for 10,000 words, a lot of people aren't even going to bother reading it, even if it has the information they need in it, because it's just intimidating, and they know it's going to take a long time to complete, so they talk themselves out of doing it in the first place. So just break it up into small chunks to make things more manageable and less intimidating for your students. And number 13, make the consequences clear for what happens if they don't learn, if they don't apply themselves to what they're trying to learn. And the only way to create change in anyone's psychology or belief system is to show them the consequences of their actions or inaction, which is said by Tony Robbins. And if you don't know the consequences or the benefits that will come from what you're doing, you're less likely to make the right decision, you're less likely to stick with what you're doing. So if you don't follow through with the program that you paid $500 for, you're going to waste $500. You're going to be beating yourself up because you didn't learn that skill that you wanted to learn so bad, and you're going to have trouble down the line when you need that skill in the future. That would be consequences for not sticking with the course. Now, something like that can intimidate people in the right way to make them actually do what they need to do. So you can apply that to just about anything that needs to be taught. So that's it as far as teaching techniques to help people understand and learn different things. And if you use all 13 of these and apply them to every lesson, every course, every book, every blog post, or every tutorial that you do for people, they will understand the information you're teaching them. They will comprehend it, they will remember it for long periods of time, and they will thank you for it, and they will be very grateful, and you will build a huge reputation of being someone who just gets it and is the best at teaching whatever it is you're trying to teach. So it makes you look good, it helps other people, makes everybody better in the process, and everybody wins. Okay, so apply these 13 techniques to whatever you're trying to teach, and I guarantee you'll love the results, and so will your students. If you got something from this video, if you learned something, please like and subscribe so I can bring you more great videos like this to help you become more successful. And if you want to apply or recommend other teaching techniques, or just let me know what you thought about the video, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to contact me directly, or if you want to get more in-depth articles, content, tools, resources, and things like that on personal development, entrepreneurship, marketing, anything that can help you become a more successful person and entrepreneur, you can go to selfmadesuccess.com. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day.